The stars were silent, as always. Commander Wren Maddox floated in the pitch black of space, tethered to nothing but an escape pod the size of a small transport crate. The blinking red light inside the pod was the only indication of life amid the endless dark. Her pulse was steady, but her breathing was tight. She'd been trained for almost everything: explosions, radiation leaks, rogue AIs, but not this, not being the last one alive. The ISS Halcyon, Earth's most advanced deep space diplomatic vessel, had been destroyed less than 2 hours ago. A sudden energy surge, followed by internal system failures. Then the fire, then the decompression, then the screaming. Now nothing, just Wren and the pod. 12 hours earlier, the crew of the Halcyon had been on their way to the Trigolis Accord, a meeting of galactic empires to prevent a coming war. Wren had been second in command, proud to serve under Captain Eira Sato, a woman of sharp intellect and unshakable calm. But tensions aboard the ship had been rising. Communications with Earth were inconsistent. Several crew members had reported unusual power fluctuations, and there was a growing suspicion that someone or something had sabotaged the ship. When the explosion tore through engineering, Wren had been in the medical bay, getting a wound sealed. She had 27 seconds to reach the emergency pod bay. In that time, she saw the corridors warp and twist, saw a crew member, Lieutenant Ferris, burned alive by a plasma vent. She launched the pod manually, just as the Halcyon shattered behind her in a wave of fire and steel. And then there was only quiet. The pod's onboard AI, a basic companion system named ARI, chimed softly. Oxygen reserves at 73%. Nutrient gels at 41%. Probability of rescue within 72 hours, 0.004%. Wren gave a bitter laugh. Thanks for the pep talk. You're welcome, Commander. The pod was designed for temporary survival, 2 people, 3 days. It had just enough propulsion to orient itself, not travel. Its signal beacon blinked endlessly into the void. But the chances of being found without coordinated rescue were slim. And worse, something had followed her. At first, she thought it was her imagination, but then 5 hours into the drift, she saw it. A shadow, moving against the starfield. Too regular, too angular, a shape. Then the signal. It wasn't Earth standard. It pulsed in patterns Wren didn't recognize. Alien. And it was getting closer. The alien vessel appeared without sound. Sleek, black as the void, shaped like a crescent blade. It had no visible windows, no thrusters, no markings. But it docked with the escape pod perfectly, as if it had been waiting. Wren gripped the emergency trigger on her wrist. If this was capture or dissection, she'd rather blow the pod than be taken. But the pod door didn't explode. It simply opened, and she was face to face with someone she hadn't seen in 5 years. Wren. He was taller than she remembered, dressed in armor that shimmered like starlight. His eyes, still the same deep gray, searched her face with emotion. "Leo," she whispered. "Yeah, it's me." She stepped back, mind racing. You died on Vega 6. Your ship was destroyed." He smiled faintly. "No, I was taken." "By them," Leo nodded. "The Sarathi. They're not what we thought. They didn't destroy me. They saved me, rebuilt me. And now, I think they saved you too." The alien ship, the Orlaia, was more alive than mechanical. It responded to thought, adjusted to emotion. It had no corridors, just shifting spaces that shaped themselves to need. Ren followed Leo through glowing arches into a circular chamber, where a soft pulse of light hovered in the center. "It's their heart," he said. "Their intelligence, not AI, not organic, something in between." Ren sat on the edge of a shape that became a chair. "Why now? Why me?" Because the Sarathi intercepted Halcyon's logs. They saw what was coming. The Trigali's accord was a lie. Earth was bait. You were all going to die. Ren's breath caught. "A trap," he nodded. "The Galaxian Empire rigged the peace summit. They wanted war. And you're the only one who survived." Her hand trembled. "Then Earth has no idea." "No, but we can tell them, if we make it back." She looked up at him. "We," he sat beside her. "I never stopped looking for you. When I heard the distress beacon, I thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't you." "You weren't." They sat in silence. Then she leaned forward and kissed him, slow, trembling. Years of regret, of lost time, poured into a single moment. "I thought I lost you," she whispered. "I thought I'd never see you again." She smiled sadly. Well, space had other plans. They spent the next 3 days integrating Halcyon's data core into the Orlaia systems. The Sarathi tech adapted quickly. Logs revealed encrypted files from Captain Sato files, confirming that she, too, suspected the Accord was a trap. She had set an automatic relay toward Earth's outer colonies, but it never launched. Now it could. As the Orlaia approached the relay range, an ambush awaited. Galaxian destroyers, 3 of them. They tracked the Sarathi signal, Leo said. They want to make sure no one gets out alive. "We can't outgun them," Ren said. "No," Leo agreed. "But we can outrun them and get the message out." The plan was simple. Suicidal, but simple. Ren would pilot the Orlaia through the magnetic rings of Kepler-19, using the radiation bursts to mask their signal. Leo would fire the data relay and eject in a Sarathi shuttle. Ren would draw the fire. He didn't like it, but she insisted. "I already lost you once," he said, gripping her arm. "You won't again. I promise." The battle was chaos, flashes of light, bursts of plasma. The Orlaia danced between beams, its living hull reacting faster than thought. Ren poured everything into the controls. Then, as Leo launched the relay, she banked hard toward the destroyers. They fired, and the Orlaia disappeared in fire. But Ren wasn't aboard. She had jettisoned through a side pod moments before impact, cloaked by Sarathi tech. Drifting again, back in space, alone, but not for long. A small shuttle Sarathi class picked her up minutes later. Leo inside, you didn't think I'd actually let you go out in a blaze of glory alone, did you? She punched his shoulder, then hugged him. The data reached Earth. The trap was exposed. War was averted, and though the Halcyon was gone, its legacy survived in the story of two souls who endured the cold of space, the weight of loss, and the miracle of reunion. Now, they traveled the stars, ambassadors between species, survivors of the void, together, because sometimes survival in space isn't about the pod. It's about the heart inside it.